Hello, I'm Andrew Tyler, and this is Reapit's 7 Tough Questions podcast, where we talk about the questions you should be asking your next CRM supplier to make sure you're comparing apples with apples. I have with me Ross Champion, Reapit's Head of Lettings and Client Accounts, to talk about question number 5 of 7 that agencies should be asking their next CRM supplier. How will your software help our agency to stay compliant? Ross, could you expand on how Reapit helps their customers remain compliant to give our listeners a sense of what they should be expecting from their CRM supplier in the compliance space?
Hi, Andrew. Well, I think it's important to first differentiate between functionality in the software that drives actions resulting in compliance and the things that Reapit does in the background on behalf of our customers to keep them compliant. In terms of compliance, we provide all the features that agencies need to remain compliant, but we don't force it, as it's up to every agency to tell us how they want their software configured. And there is a plethora of ways in which Agency Cloud can be configured to work with existing business practices, like payments, allocations, landlord statements. They can all work in a multitude of ways, each compliant in its own right, but uniquely set up, and are usually a combination of formal regulatory requirements and an agency's unique best practice requirements. Another example is when an agent logs into their Reapit Power Organizer each day, they will see a list of outstanding actions that requires completion to remain on track with compliance regulations and guidelines, from things like gas certificates to EICR, AML, Legionella and asbestos checks, right through to tenant arrears, smoke alarm inspections, and a multitude of other customizable checks. The list goes on, but I think you get the picture. In short, this dashboard enables compliance checks, and at the back of those compliance checks, we have automation governed by task plans and workflows to help our customers remain compliant with what is currently a high volume of current and pending regulation.
Ross, you also mentioned that there are things that Reapit does in the background without agents' involvement. What would that relate to?
Yes, that pertains to client accounts where, as you can imagine, compliance is absolutely critical because agents have to be a member of a client money protection scheme, and as part of any CMP scheme, you will get audited. So being able to present account statements that are balanced to the penny is a given, and hence compliance that's driven by fail-safe automation, security and diagnostics is absolutely crucial. And at Reapit, our system automatically runs a diagnostic report every 55 minutes in the background, which is essentially an integrity check against a number of key markers, including transaction integrity and reconciliation. So if anything is done on the system that creates a level of disturbance, our client account support team get notified. We repair the issue without the client ever really knowing or worrying about it. I would say that level of automaticity is one of the most critical compliance considerations for any agency. We further enable the compliance picture by actually automatically tracking accountability. The best softwares generally provide transparency and control. By way of an example, our software records any changes to key information, such as bank detail, address changes, or landlord swaps or similar, being able to see who created the content, the date it was created, and by who, as well as when the changes were made. It gives our customers an enormous level of insight into what's actually happening within their database. And then finally, you've got to consider security and how the security setup protects your agency's ability to be compliant. At Reapit, our security is multi-layered, and with advanced security privileges linked to our training modules, your new recruits can't accidentally wipe out all of the data or transfer funds into the wrong accounts. We also have a number of fail-safes built in, such as not being able to overdraw the client account accidentally. And as far as I know, Reapit is the only software company that protects their clients from this very slippery edge.
Thanks, Ross. And that's all for now, folks. If you want to speak to the team at Reapit to get a better understanding of their compliance features in Agency Cloud, please do get in touch by submitting your detail on this page. Until we dive into another tough CRM buying question, all the very best and stay safe.